All right, welcome to Ready Bet Action. We're here to talk about NFL Conference Championship weekend. We're here, big weekend, kind of a weird weekend. Not what everyone expected. Big injury to Bo Nix, which is super disappointing, I think, for all. I've heard so many football fans talk about how, I don't know. I guess if you're a big Broncos hater, maybe you're celebrating. But other than that, I think a lot of just general football fans are like, man, like we were going to get this great matchup between two sophomore quarterbacks. And now we don't get that, which is unfortunate. We got Jarrett Stidham, but we have the Seahawks and the Rams also playing the night game. We will dive into both. We will go ahead and start with games, and we're going to move into player props. So let's talk about these games. Let's start with the Patriots and Broncos. First, I believe the total in this game, let me double check, is set at 41 and a half. 42 and a half, it looks like it was 41 last time I checked. New England is back to a 4.5 point favorite where they opened. I saw that number get to 5.5 this week, but I see it now sitting at 4.5. You can get the Broncos to win at plus 195. As the resident Broncos homer, I will save my take. Mike, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Oh man, who the frick knows? I think this is a super intriguing game to me, man. We don't know if J.K. Dobbins is going to be back, which Denver could really use him. They've been super inefficient on the ground. Last week the running backs combined for a total of 10 carries after we sat here and talked about how Sean Payton didn't want to have to rely on Bo Nix to beat Josh Allen, but then he did the damn thing. So with Jarrett Stidham there, I mean, we have no idea what the offense is going to look like. We don't know if it's going to be your Mike Bobo dink and dunk, run the ball through the air. We don't know if he's actually going to try and use RJ Harvey. We don't know if J.K. Dobbins is going to get back. There's so many things that it just kind of makes this game really hard to have a real true take. But the take that I do have is that Denver's defense, they're good. I said last week, I'm not fully convinced they are as good as they have been given credit for this year, especially whenever they play the top half of offenses. However, they play a lot of man coverage, and they have two really freaking good corners. And that is what Drake May has struggled against this year is man coverage. Even last week against Houston, he threw for only 179 yards with an interception. Now, they managed to win that game easily, but that's because Houston had 5 turnovers. But even with 5 turnovers and a pick six, they still only managed to score 28 points. Now they're going on the road against this team with a loud crowd, and I think Drake May struggles a little bit here. I think he has a fine game. I don't think New England's going to have this offensive-driven 35-plus point game. Stidham, Sean Payton, he's kind of the quarterback mastermind over there, and he fully trusts Stidham right now and loves Stidham. There's a reason why he was in line to be the starter after Russ left or before Bo Nix, and they got rid of Russ because they trusted him as a backup. So, we've seen Peyton do a lot of really cool things with backup quarterbacks in the past. So I've got faith that Denver keeps this one close. I also have faith that Drake May struggles a little bit. So my only play on this game, got a same game parlay of Patriots team total under 28.5 with Denver plus 7.5 at minus 130.
Love it. I tend to agree. I think the general consensus is this game is not going to be a blowout. Even if maybe the Patriots are going to win, I don't think consensus is that the Denver's team as a whole is good enough. And I think a lot of that's coming from how terrible CJ Stroud was last week, and that the Texans were still in striking distance for most of that game, for maybe the worst playoff game ever played by a quarterback. Sorry, Stephon, let's hear your take next, though.
Yeah, I don't have a play on the game, the total, anything like that. But if I were to make a bet, it would be on the under. But I hate watching a game hoping for fewer than 41.5 points. Like, that is stress city. I don't want that in my life. So I'm not going to touch this one. I kind of see it the same way you guys do. I think it'll probably be close. I tend to, and we've talked about this on the show before, I tend to back a home underdog with a injured quarterback situation. I feel like the market tends to overreact. However, I love Drake May. I think this Patriots team is really good. So my tendencies would be to back the Broncos, but Drake Mazing makes me want to back the Patriots. So I'm just going to stay away from it. Lean under, think the Patriots cover, but my go-to play is to take Stidham, and so I'm just going to not play it at all.
Yeah, I think if I can get this number back to, I do have a couple picks here for the Broncos. Not necessarily. We'll talk about those in a second. If I can get that number back to -5.5, and I can buy a half point to get it to 6, I'll probably take the Broncos +6. But I don't think I'm taking the +4.5. As a Broncos fan here, I do think there's a couple things happening, and I kind of don't like how much the media is liking Jarrett Stidham because I want him to be more coming out of nowhere, if that makes sense. And all I've seen are tons of takes about the media. Everyone except for like Stephen A. Smith talking about how Jarrett Stidham is actually this, like, it's like we've been hiding Tom Brady on the bench for 3 years, and that's just ridiculous. So, he is one of the highest paid backups in the league. He is for a reason, and when he's played in his preseason games has been outstanding. Like, there's a lot of talk of him starting over Bo Nix the last 2 seasons. Of a bit of a, not a full controversy at all, but, there was talk that Sean Payton really likes Jarrett Stidham. And I think he can win a football game against the Patriots and a young Patriots team at that. I think they're one of the youngest teams in the NFL. The Patriots are 0-4 all time in Denver in the playoffs. Never won a game in Denver. There's a lot of things going for the Broncos that I don't expect them to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do, and then go on to lose in the Super Bowl. That being said, go for it.
Oh, I'm just curious, how much stock do you put in like those historical figures? Because I know myself, I don't put a whole lot of stock. So I'm like, I don't know. That was Peyton Manning and John Elway,
Yeah, I put more stock in that. I do think home field advantage for this final game, like, definitely matters for a defense that needs it. Because I think, like Mike said, they're good, not great. The defense is good, not great, but at home with a crowd is going to be like a factor in the game. And then you really just need Stidham to come in and lead some drives, man, and don't turn if you pretty much come in, like, don't turn the ball over. And maybe if the Broncos can get to 20 points, they might be able to win this game. so yep. We'll see. I'm not betting Broncos to win or the spread, honestly. I'm actually going to take the Broncos' first drive is a punt. You can get that at -110, which is close to even money. So I think that, Stidham's hasn't played a snap in a meaningful game in a long time, and I don't know if the first drive is going to be it for him. So give me Broncos' first drive punt at -110. There's a lot of fun stuff on DraftKings. One of the other ones I looked at, y'all, was both quarterbacks to complete 15+ yards every quarter at +170. But both quarterbacks would have to complete 15 yards each quarter. I'm like, who's coming up with this stuff, man? Like, I liked it, but I'm not like, who's coming up with this? I actually did like that one. My only other game pick for this, we actually have a lot more props. So we're going to spend the whole second half of the show on props. This is kind of fun to get into props here as we get closer to the Super Bowl. Give me the Broncos to win the Super Bowl at +1,100 right now. I'm going to put a quarter unit on that as a side piece bet. Man, are you telling me there's a good NFL team with a decent, at least, backup quarterback, like he's paid like it, and he's well thought of that way? A decent backup quarterback with a good defense at home's got to win one game and then go win another in the Super Bowl +1,100. That's crazy. $10 to win $120. Like, it's just value. It's not because I think the Broncos will win the Super Bowl, but I will be throwing $10 on this because if I have a ticket for either side of the Super Bowl going into it of one of the teams at plus 1,100 to win the Super Bowl. That's like insane. I don't care what kind of underdogs they are. You're not going to get anything. You're not getting anything close to that. There are teams. Go look across college basketball right now. Go look across the NBA and NHL and go look at teams with plus 1,100 or look at teams with plus 1,100 odds. And they are teams that I would say have zero chance to win their team's championships or their like, sports championships. And this team just has to win 2 games. Who knows what'll happen? Maybe they make the Super Bowl and the Seahawks have some big defensive injury. And then we go in and it's like an even playing field. Like, who knows? Man, plus 1,100. I just thought that was crazy. That's it. That's really it. It's not because I'm picking the Broncos to win the Super Bowl. So, yeah, that had to go on my little rant of why I just thought that was an insane number for a team to have to win 2 games.
I agree. Liverpool is plus 1,000 to make the top 2, and there's no way in hell they're going to do that.
Yeah,
it's better odds than that, I like that, Eric. And like to your point, like it's not like we haven't seen this play out in the NFL before. Like the Eagles with what's his butt and Peterson, Foles, which parlayed into Peterson getting the Jacksonville gig, which pissed me off. But whatever. I actually liked it at the time. But like we've seen a solid defense with a good core. Like you got a good offensive line, good defensive line. You've got a solid defense overall. An okay running game. You've got a lot of like freak playmakers at wide receiver. Yeah, this could easily happen. Plus 1,100 just seems like it's mispriced.
Yeah, the Denver special may be birthed this week, y'all.
Like there's no way it should be mine. Like it's not like we're saying it's a 50-50 chance and it should be like minus 110, but like plus 1,100 is crazy jumping in a pay.
Yeah, maybe like plus 600.
Yeah.
Here's my super degenerate bet. I'm not putting it on the show, but I just think it's a fun thing if anyone's listening. If you're a Denver sports fan, I got a group of us. We all pitched in $5. We now have a $25 bet on all 3 Denver teams to win their championship. The Broncos, Avs, and Nuggets. And the Broncos are the least likely, by the way, out of those 3 to win their championships. $25 to pay $6,600. So here we go. It could be the best Denver sports season of our lives and making some money.
You just need to find a way to add in Colorado Rockies to be the worst team in baseball.
Oh, no. Yeah, or just like maybe like a Rockies surprise. Like, could I get them though? Like a Rockies like to win 75 plus games, and that would be like a great season for them. I'm not a Rockies fan, just for the
maybe
record.
20 plus games.
I would never publicly admit I'm a Rockies fan if I was. Just to be clear, I don't want it on record. People think I'm a Rockies fan. How embarrassing! All right. We'll move on. Let's go to NFL player props. We got a lot of these to run through, so we will get going here.
Skip the game.
Yeah. Let's just go right into it. I think it's okay to go out of order on games here, Mike. Why don't you just start us off with your favorite one?
Are we just going straight to props, or are we hitting the Rams Seahawks game?
We skipped the whole Rams Seahawks game. Let's get back to it.
Someone's excited about Denver Broncos football, baby.
Yeah, they are.
I'm like rocking the PNW gear. I've got the Seahawks flag behind me, got my Oregon sweatshirt, but let's not talk about it. Jared Goff's not playing this weekend.
Who needs it? I am, by the way, I'll let Mike take it away here. I'm joining Mike on this. I just didn't put it on the slide twice, but this is also a pick for me. So, Mike, why don't you take it away?
Well, I don't have a pick on this game, so I think you're joining Stafe here.
Who put this on the slide?
Did I make a pick? Oh, I did make a pick, and I forgot about it. I didn't
put Rams +3, and it was not me, and I don't think it was Dave.
I am taking the Rams +3. I forgot to write it down. Give me the Rams +3, and let me tell you why. So first off, division game. Like, how often do we get a division game this deep into the playoffs? That's just fun. We've actually got a little bit of history now of these two teams playing each other, and you can kind of make some decisions a little bit based off of that. My biggest issue on this game is I'm kind of worried about Seattle's offense without Charbonnet. I know he is kind of a complimentary piece here. He's not the feature guy, but they run the ball 30 times a game on average. They currently have one running back on their depth chart, and that is a problem. Kenny McIntosh has been good and effective. He's a freak athlete. I think he's been underutilized in a lot of ways. Go ahead.
Kenny Walker.
Yes. Sorry. What did I say?
McIntosh. You said it last week too. You keep
Did I
calling
really?
him Kenny McIntosh. Yeah. Last week I was like, Georgia
Let
boy, let it go.
My Georgia boy, man. He was
Georgia
on the
boy,
roster
let it
at
go.
one point too.
Yeah.
It's Kenny McIntosh. Thank you, Steph. With no running back behind him to spare him, I don't think you can put everything on Sam Darnold, especially in this game. I said last week he could play like a chump and it would be fine. I don't believe that in this game. In the 2 games that they have played against each other, he's gotten yards. He's thrown for 270 in both. He's got 6 total touchdowns, but he's thrown 6 interceptions in 2 games against the Rams this year. That's a problem, especially in this game in the playoffs. Matthew Stafford, he kind of did what we expected him to do last week in Chicago in the freezing cold temperatures. He kind of had a little bit of a dud there. It's going to be 40 degrees in Seattle. That is way warmer than 3 degrees, even if it is cold. So we talked a lot about the Seattle defense last week. They're absolutely fantastic. They're only going to rush 4. They're going to sit back and play all the coverage in the world. Matthew Stafford is a guy that I'm comfortable with standing back in the pocket and just finding the gaps in that coverage. So Seattle's defense is good enough. I still think they can win the game, but I'm going to go ahead and because the line here is currently at 2.5, I'm going to get off the hook there. Go ahead and give me 3 points on it. Yeah. And you can get that at, it was minus 125 on Fanatics right now. So that's my take.
I like that. I like it. I like buying the hook. I'll just throw out
Kenny McIntosh anytime touchdown.
I don't have any other to give.
Jared Goff over 1.5 touchdown passes, baby.
Yeah. The Chargers.
It is interesting.
The Chargers +3.
Stafford, if you want to play his passing touchdowns, you kind of have to go over 2.5 if you want it to be worthwhile. I
got it at 1.5.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting because last week it was at 2.5 to make money.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to add Mike already for all the reasons Mike said, and I will just for historical facts as long as we're going with them. This actually is more relevant because he's actually coaching and coached these other teams with these players. Sean McVay is 3-0 against teams he's playing for a 3rd time in a season. That was a fun little nugget to throw out there that might be a little more relevant than other historical facts. So I think McVay.
Yeah, that's a historical fact I would let weigh into my decision.
Yeah, that's good. I think it shows that he learns from the teams that he plays for sure. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm a big Sean McVay fan. I love the voice. I can't listen to him talk, but I could watch him coach. All right. Let's Stefan, you haven't been talking much. Why don't you kick us off with your favorite player prop?
I don't have a favorite player prop. I like all 3 of them the same, but they're all from this Rams-Seahawks game. I'm going to go with my under first because that feels a bit more appropriate. I'm going to take Kenny Walker, McIntosh, under 115 total rush and receiving yards. I just feel like this number's been steamed up so much with the Zach Charbonnet news. So people have kind of been like, well, Kenny Walker's got to produce. And I think he could still have a really, really good game. But 115 total yards, I don't think that's going to happen. I see this game being Jackson Smith and Jigba passing game. I think Darnold, despite working through this injury, is going to focus on just getting JSN involved. I think Kenny Walker could still have a good game, but still just fall a little bit short of this 115 number. So I'm going to go with that under as my favorite play, but I kind of like all 3 of my plays about the same. That's at minus 110, so it's pretty neutral number there.
Yeah, I like that. That's a high number.
Yeah,
Mike, why don't you hit us with yours? Your favorite one?
Not my favorite, but I'm going to stay on Kenny Walker McIntosh while we're here. I'm actually going to go a little bit on the other side there. I'm going to take over 85.5 rushing yards, minus 110. He's been 90 plus in 3 of his last 4 games with Sharps. He's only going to get more work now. I think he's going to be off the field on 3rd down a little bit more here. So I'm going to stay off the combined number there. But the Rams are giving up 4.3 yards a carry right now, and his rushing attempt number is set at 20 carries in this game. That's a really nice spot to be to hit this. So over 85.5 rushing yards, minus 110.
Nice. Lots of Kenny McIntosh. All right, we beat it to death.
KMC.
The problem is I'm going to say it again, but completely unintentionally.
I love it.
I am moving on. My favorite play, I will go with the favorite, is Evan Ingram over 20.5 receiving yards. I just think for a backup quarterback, a tight end safety blank. Ingram has not had the season that we had hoped, and it's been fine. But I do think with Pat Bryant potentially out, I just think Stidham, if he's going to have a safety blanket, it's going to be a tight end. And I see Ingram being that tight end, 20.5. I always say it, love props that can hit on one play as well. So Ingram is a very capable tight end. And so I like that you could get this in one shot potentially at some point in the game. So that's my favorite one for sure. But Steve, you have another anytime touchdown for us.
Real quick, Evan Ingram's one of my first in plays for DFS this week. Love it.
Yeah,
for DFS. Because I do think either through volume and receptions and yards or a touchdown, I think Evan Ingram's going to be involved in the game plan. I also think Puka Nacua, to the surprise of no one, will also be involved in the game plan. I don't understand this line. His anytime touchdown numbers at plus 125, which him and Kyren Williams both. Kyron's is at plus 130, so I'm just going to play both of them. The implied total in this game for the Rams is 3+ touchdowns. You're telling me that Kyren and Puka aren't going to get 2 of them? They're going to at least get one of them. At least one of these bets hits. I think they both do. Give me Puka Nacua anytime touchdown at plus 125 and Kyren Williams at plus 130.
Oh, those are great. I like both those. I mean, Seattle's defense, are you going to get
good.
2 touchdowns?
But still,
it is really good taking touchdown bets, but I think if they're going to get them, those guys are pretty shoo-ins to get them there. Cool. Mike, what's your next one?
I'm going to go to the Broncos game. Give me Jared Stidham. I'm going to go over 19.5 completions here. As inefficient as this running game has been, I really do expect Stidham to have a lot of dink and dunks. And I think that just means completions continue to rack up here. The Pats have given up this number in 12 of their last 14 games here. Even CJ Stroud hit this last week, and he couldn't hit the side of a barn. So give me that at minus 130.
Sean Payton, to the chagrin of all of us Broncos fans, uses bubble screens like as a part of the running game, and those count as completions. so I like it. They're going to do it. They're going to want to give him some easy stuff. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, I got one more. I'll throw out, then we'll get back to y'all, which is give me Stidham over 13.5 rushing yards. His starts don't necessarily show that he's a rusher, but if you've watched him in the preseason, like I have for the last 3 seasons, this dude can scramble around. And I think even though he's not Bo Nix, he's going to find opportunities to they're going to want the Patriots are going to dare him to throw the ball. And he's going to find some opportunities to dash out for some yards, I think. And 13.5 is just so low. Again, I don't know if I see Stidham getting a 14-yard rush. So it's a stretch to say this could happen on one play, but 2 plays, maybe. So I'll take Stidham over 13.5. And yeah, I think he runs around. I was going to say something else about that, but I forgot. I think the Patriots are going to take some time to figure out what they want to do with him. And he's going to get some rushing opportunities. Cool. Let's see. Stefan, you had.
I pulled them all both together on my last one. I only had the 3.
You pulled both those. Mike, you got the rest.
Cool. I'm going to give you 2 Sam Darnold plays at once. Give me 30+ pass attempts and also give me Sam Darnold to throw an interception. Both of these plays have hit very easily in both of the first 2 games, so we might as well go 3 for 3, especially with, again, I know I keep harping on Sharp's being out. He's going to throw the ball more because they're not going to give Kenny McIntosh. I told you it was freaking coming.
Yes.
Kenny Walker the ball 30
Mikey,
times.
If you say Kenny McIntosh one more time this episode, next episode is fine. This episode, you need to get a KMC tattoo, baby.
The over.
All right, deal. Let's do it. So yeah,
let's go.
The pass attempts is minus 133. The interception is minus 135. Again, he's thrown 6 interceptions in 2 games against these guys. And then my last play is going to be Matthew Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns at minus 129. He just threw 0 touchdowns for the first time this season. Last game, you gotta expect him to come in with a bounce back here. He's hit 2+ touchdowns in over 80% of his games this year, so we might as well expect it to happen again here. So minus 129.
Love it.
That's great. Love all those. Don't forget to follow us over on RotoViz or follow RotoViz and go over check out their website if you haven't. Some really great stuff over there. We've been working with them this year. If you're listening to us on RotoViz, go check us out over on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Let's go ahead and run it down. Our picks for NFL Conference Championship Week. We'll start with games first, then we'll move back over to player props. Mike, why don't you kick us off?
I'm going to start with a same game parlay of the Patriots team total under 28.5 with the Denver plus 7.5 at minus 130. And then give me the Rams plus 3 at the Seahawks at minus 125.
Yeah, I'm going to take a Broncos first drive punt at minus 110 and a side piece ticket for the Broncos to win the Super Bowl because that plus 1,100 is insane. All right, player props. Mike.
Give me Sam Darnold with 30+ pass attempts, Sam Darnold with 1+ interceptions, Matthew Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns, Kenny Walker over 85.5 rushing yards, with Jarrett Stidham over 19.5 completions.
Steve.
Yeah, give me a Puka Nacua anytime touchdown at plus 125. Kyron Williams anytime touchdown plus 130. And then we're going to take Kenny McIntosh Walker under 115 total rushing receiving yards at minus 110.
Cool. I'll grab Jarrett Stidham over 13.5 rushing yards and Evan Ingram over 20.5 receiving yards. That's it. That's how we're going to make money. No episode next week. We might come back to some soccer. We like to do some pop-up shows, some soccer, some hockey. I've been doing some college basketball lately, so maybe we'll come at you with that. But stay tuned. Check us out where you get your podcast. Otherwise, we will see you for the Super Bowl.